Can I get a motion to approve the agenda meeting?
Motion to approve the meeting agenda.
Second.
Motion by Keith, seconded by Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Move on to the presentation by the 7th grade North Polk student with licensing agreement.
So, back quite a while back, I got an email from Corwin, who's a seventh grader here at North Polk, and he had asked if he could use the North Polk logo to use his 3D printer to print some gear, some swag. And so I thought it was a great idea, and so I forwarded it on to Hunter, and Hunter worked on putting an agreement together for the dollar amount of $1. And then, lo and behold, my wife was like, hey, there's a student, and I think with help of his mother, Desiree, put it on Facebook that selling some of this gear. And so I saw that they had a hype chain here. And so I knew girls basketball was doing well, and so I needed a hype chain to wear down to Wells Fargo. And so I just think it's a great example of our students having some entrepreneurial spirit and foresight, and just the learning that comes along with starting his own business and using the 3D printer. And so invited Corwin to come tonight. Do you got your $1? Yes, sir. All right. Very good. All right. Well, congratulations on the business, man. All right, can we get a photo? Awesome. All right, I'll take the agreement. Yeah, we appreciate you coming. Stay if you want. Oh, still needs to sign it. All right, perfect. Let's slide this up. We'll get you a pen. There's a pen. All right, I'm going to give the $1 to the money. All right. So, yep, if you just want to sign it.
Where?
Right there.
Right.
And then print your name below. And then CEO, is that your title?
Sure.
And then date it right there.
You got to flip your hype chain.
What's the date?
Oh, the date, 24th.
Alright.
Well, congratulations. And the other cool part about his business, he's donating a quarter, I think, of his profits to the Comic Cupboard food pantry. So.
Yeah.
Corin, did you want to share a little bit about your business?
Sure. Any questions about it?
Yeah, why don't you just give us a little summary of what your business is and your
so-
business model?
It kind of just all started in 5th grade with them starting the business things. And mine, since I had a 3D printer at that point, I just thought to sell them. And it went really well that year. So then I tried to start it in 6th grade. And then I created a Google Doc with a bunch of things on it. So I got a little business there. And then what made me start on this idea for the North Polk logo is for the Super Bowl. I found a big Eagles chain of it that I wore since I didn't want the Chiefs to win. And then, so I thought a North Polk logo one would be cool. So then I tried to design it and then printed it, and it turned out good. So I thought, why not try to sell it to a few people?
What's the time? How long does it take you to make that one of those?
For just the pendant part, it's 3 hours.
And then do you cut the chain yourself too? as well?
So the chain, each link prints separately, and I can fit 27 in an hour. So I just do 27 of each color, and then 9 of each color.
Well done, sir.
How many hype chains have you sold so far?
The chains so far, my guess is probably around 5, but there's a little bit more still coming.
Nice.
What other items do you have for sale, and how could people find these items?
So it's on my mom's Facebook account. Could be. And then, so I have the spirit pendant, and then a bag tag that's like almost half the size. And then, oh yeah. Here's the bag tag.
Sweet.
And then I also sell these little keychains.
Nice. And Mom, what's your name in case people want to stalk you for items? Desiree. All right.
So we'll post again because there were requests for more and a few custom things. So Queen 13, I don't want them on Facebook yet. I'm helping out that way.
And then
And I,
Thank you,
Sir?
Very cool. Thank you.
I mean, he is the CEO, so.
so we were headed over to a friend's house last night, and my wife said, "Hey, need to stop. I got some things. Need to pick up some cash." And I was like, "Okay, what do we get?" She goes, "Found one of these bag tags and one of these hype chains." And I'm like, "What? Where? Like, what did we get here?" And we pull in, and she comes out and pulls that out of the bag, along with 2 bag tags for Peyton and Shay. And I'm pretty sure I think I've had that on more in just the last 24 hours than Shay has. So awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Well done, young man.
I just a brief shout out too to the 5th grade teachers. This is exactly what they're hoping for with BizTown and those school businesses. So very cool transfer from the classroom into real life. Congratulations and kudos to you parents too. I'm sure you're putting in a lot of extra hours.
Thank you for coming.
Moving on, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Motion by Kyle, seconded by Keith. All in favor?
Aye.
All 5-0.
4-0.
4-0, I'm sorry. 4-0. We're missing one. Next, item 6, public comments or communications. Are there anybody that would like to speak?
We did have the speech. I'll do it during superintendent. Let me find it. It was just here. You can go. Keep going.
Okay, move on to administrator director reports. First off, we'll start with administrators and directors. Go around the room. Miranda, do you have anything? Whitney? Scott? Ms. Wood, do you have anything? Matt? Amanda? Nothing? Corey? Zero. Nobody else has anything?
I think I'm going to try and work for Corwin's business. See how far we can go. Maybe end up on Shark Tank.
There you go. All right. Ava, do you have anything? First of all, welcome to our board meeting tonight. Let's go ahead.
She learned about levies.
But spring formal, the spring dance had the highest attendance out of any North Polk dance we've hosted. And then student council is getting ready to open applications for senators and officers. Applications open up April 14th. Offer nomination petitions are due April 25th, and then grades 9 through 11th will vote on officers during advisory on Monday, May 5th.
Very good. Thank you very much. There's no construction report.
No construction, so I'm next. All right, I found my papers. So, public communication from the Iowa High School Speech Association. Congratulations to Arden Selmecki for solo music theater being recognized. And then also, congratulations to these other students. Arden again for original oratory. Morgan Ianson Rankin for poetry, and then Aiden Trier for improv. So congratulations. Well done, all of our speech students. Hopefully everyone had a good and safe spring break. As we get back to school here, one of the things we are pushing is registration for the fall. As we look at our double routes, we are trying to make sure that we have all students that need busing accounted for here to get the routes figured out as early as possible. And so we have set the deadline for June 1st this year. Last year it was July 15th. We've bumped it up even earlier. So do not feel bad if you have not registered your children. I have 4 children in the district who have not been registered as of yet, but hopefully you'll take my encouragement and do it tomorrow so that we can account for students for the fall. And then with the bus, I do want to recognize Marcy Hannigan, our transportation director, and Scott Grouden, our technology director. We have started badging our students on and off of the buses at Big Creek with our new United GPS Connect system. It allows us to get a lot more information about how many students are actually riding the buses on a daily basis, and to be able to have tracking of the buses for speed and different location. And so we are planning on stepping through the district. Central will be the next to have the badges attached to the book bags. West will be next. And then our middle schoolers and high schoolers, we're not actually going to purchase the lanyards to clip onto the backpacks because we will give them their card. But the other thing is, if they take a photo on their cell phone of their card, you can scan on the bus with just your phone. And so your barcode for your student ID is actually in the Infinite Campus app for families as well. But again, the picture of the barcode and using that will get students on and off the buses as well. So our plan is by the end of the year having everyone doing the scanning so we get really good data for our future planning. Because as of right now, we might have 120 students listed to ride a given bus, but on any given day, we don't know how many students are actually riding the bus. Now, thankfully, this year we've only been over once, but in past years we have been over significantly more on capacity, and we don't want to do that. So register your students.
Okay, we will move on to new business. Item number 1 is approve and award bid for carpet at West Elementary. Would you like to comment on that?
Yep. So thanks to all of our bidders, we ended up with 4 complete bids and are recommending approval of the flooring guys at the amount of $97,114.57. And so this will happen at West Elementary over the summer for the first part of the renovations there.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
Michael, what was that value again? You said the total, the summation?
$97,114.57.
And this will be paid out by the bond money, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the flooring guys for a amount of $97,114.57 for
Second.
carpet
Sorry.
at West Elementary.
Motion by Keys, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Item number 2, approve and award the bid for gym floor at West Elementary.
We had 2 bids turned in for this one and recommending Phillips Flooring for the amount of $84,000. There was a little bit of clarification that we needed to get on the vapor barrier that was going to be in there. It was not stated as such, but we did get a hold of Phillips Flooring, and it is part of the bid package.
And is that including the additionals? The additions on that bid?
The painting and everything. The only thing that bid does not include that we're going to check on is removal of the current flooring. So $84,000 doesn't include removing the current floor that's in there. So we're working on getting that finalized. But if we can get approval on the $84,000, we will work on getting on their list for the summer to get done.
So the quote says 83,000.
Oh, 83. Sorry, I have it wrong in my head.
And then the options, we're not taking any of the options, or that is the summation of the option. No, it's not. Because there was 39, 57, 75, 85, 44, option 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 4,000.
That's the carpet. They submitted a bid on carpet too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we're just taking the 80.
They did not win the carpet bid. They won the gym floor.
Okay, so 83 for the gym floor.
83 for the gym floor. Sorry for the confusion there.
Any questions?
So motion to approve Phillips commercial for $83,000 for the West Elementary gym floor replacement.
Second.
Motion by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0. Next is approved furniture for the CTE edition.
So with the addition, obviously we're moving some of the things over from our current woods shop and ag shop, but for the upstairs classrooms and then some of the additional furniture for the wood shop and the ag shop, the quote is there from Premier for that furniture, and we're just trying to figure out the exact install date. But part of why so early on this is we were told by our salesperson that there would start to be increases because of the federal tariffs coming in the cost of some of these furniture items, and so they were implementing the additional costs here shortly, so wanted to get ahead of that, similar to what you'll hear coming up in technology.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Premier for the value of $89,000 to $99.55 for new furniture for the CT edition.
Second.
Motion by Keith, second by Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 4, approval of .02 FTE for Buildings and Grounds Coordinator.
So the state of Iowa has different options for sharing personnel that you get additional funding, essentially as ghost students that aren't actually there. But when we do, like what Chris had talked about in the tax rate meeting, our student number affects what is our general fund budget. And so with the shared position of a buildings and grounds coordinator with the Bondurant for our school district, we will get, and depending on what SSA has figured out, around $32,000 in additional funding for sharing a position. So this .2 person will come in to help as we do construction, as we do renovation, help with getting bids and quotes. But then so much of what our buildings and grounds it relies on is internet based, with the lighting controls, the HVAC controls, the security controls. Having a second person for support and redundancy with some of these different systems is going to be a good win for us as a district. And really excited about Dustin Jean is the person who Bondurant has. Excited to have him as part of the team. He already stopped by a week ago Friday to meet some of our custodial staff.
Very good.
So officially July 1 is when he will start in this shared role.
Motion to approve .2 FTE Building and Grounds Coordinator.
Second?
Motion by Kyle, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0. Item 5, review and approve triennial wellness policy updates.
So this is something that we're required to do, is look at what our wellness policies are on every 3-year basis. And so Anita helps head this up for us as a district as the nutrition coordinator. And so approving the review of these policies. Anything to add? I nailed it?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Had great people helping me at each of the buildings, so their names are on there to give credit.
Anybody have any questions?
No. Motion to approve the reviewed triennial wellness policy updates for North Polk High School, Middle School, and Elementaries, Big Creek, Central, and West.
Second.
Motion by Kyle, second by Keith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Item number 6, approve hours makeup plan.
So with the amount of delays, cancellations, and early releases that we've had up to this point in the school year, we are needing 6 more hours to be above the state minimum of 1,080 hours. And so our proposal for approval today is to remove the late start Mondays in May. And so that would be May 5th, May 12th, and May 19th will be full student days. We had talked about spreading them out more over the last 2 months, but we felt like that would be more confusing for families of do we have to get them there on time and not get them there on time. And with the number of canceled days that we did have, we will have one floating teacher work day to make up a contractual day. One contractual day will be added on June 2nd for certified staff bringing then our last day that we traditionally do for all staff with the Years of Recognition service, lunch, and then honoring our retirees with an open house will be June 3rd, and then there will be one contract day forgiven for certified teachers. And this is in alignment with what we've done in the past. The one fear is that if we do have to cancel more time, it would probably make sense for us to go additional time into June. And so I'm going to cross my fingers and hold my breath that we don't have to release any earlier for any weird weather days that we would have, but seeking approval tonight to remove those late start Mondays for May.
I know this is a conversation for another day, but it seems like the last 4 years that I've been on the board, we've had to do that. I mean, it's been pretty normal. I guess my challenge going forward is do we add another snow day into the calendar? And then what is and this might be a conversation for another time again, but what is the plan next year when we have one Monday a month, but we only have 6 hours to make up?
Well, so this year's approved calendar, I believe, was 1,111 hours. Next year, it's 1,118. And so even less student contact days, because we don't have late start Mondays, our actual student contact time is already essentially a day more. Again, I tell everyone my least favorite part of my job is making weather decisions, but we do want to err on the side of safety because our students and staff safety and well-being is our number one priority. And so we've had some unusual weather, but it is Iowa, so I don't know that's that unusual. But yeah, I think considering those different things. The other thing I tell people that want to listen to me, I always think about when does daylight hit? Because when I drive around in the morning, it is significantly different than when the daylight actually hits. And so winter months, it doesn't get light sometimes until close to 8 o'clock in the morning. And so one of the things that we do consider is what time is it daylight? So on into the future, I've thought, wouldn't it be nice in the winter months just to start school an hour later? But that's nothing we're doing right now.
Any other questions on this? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the hour makeup plan proposed by Superintendent Klein. Do we need to have details?
I mean, it's all written in here. I got it open. Motion to approve makeup plan of all Mondays in May. The 5th, 12th, and 9th will be full student days. One teacher contract day will turn into a flexible work hours to be completed prior to June 30th. One teacher contract day will be added to June 2nd, and the final day for all employees will be June 3rd.
Second.
Motion by Second. Motion by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item 7. Amend and approve increase in cost of the school bus to be received in 2025 that was board approved February 27th, 2023.
So as we found out when they tried to deliver the bus with the wrong number of seats on it a couple months ago, the bill came in for $152,566. Well, that was not the amount that we approved. In looking back, we did get an email shortly after the initial approval saying that there was the additional cost because of the transmission that we had specified in the bid document needed a heavier front axle. And so the board approval did happen on February 27th, 2023. We received notification from the company on March 3rd, 2023 of the additional cost, but didn't really think about it again until they came to deliver the bus. Now, the bus we ended up turning away because we ordered an 84 passenger bus. They delivered a 90 passenger bus, which made it way too cramped for legroom and seating on the bus. So they have taken it back. So the approval for tonight is to say, yes, we're okay with the higher amount if and when they get the bus fixed and to our specifications for the 84 passenger bus and they try to deliver it.
So I have a couple questions on this. I wish Marcy was here. So that bid was given to us We approved that bid. That information was on that bid at our request. The bid was just incorrect. Is that correct?
That's what I understand.
Okay. This company has been horrible to work for, and as far as I'm concerned, we're not going to work with them again. This has been incredibly frustrating from the communication that we've heard from Marcy. We have to have better customer service and support from people we buy buses from. So it's their fault, and that's kind of where I'm leaning to. So.
Well, and we could always table this and request that the salesperson be present at the April board meeting to go over the situation as well.
I mean, this has been 2 years. What are they now giving us for a timeline, whether we approve it or deny it? That bus.
They said, I believe it would be 2 weeks, and that was about 2 months ago. So I am A-okay with us tabling this and say, hey, why don't you come to the meeting to talk through it if they want to.
Also, you just gave her amazing leverage. If you brought a salesman in right now with that same attitude.
I would like to table this only because I would like an explanation for why we're responsible for an error in their, I mean,
The bid
it's a
number.
signed contract,
Well, it's a sealed bid process, too.
right? So we also denied other bids, and so now if we send it back out to bid, we're 2 years post the original bid process and 2 years of inflation post-bid process. So I have lots of questions around why that price is not being honored, even if there was an error in the original bid.
If we deny it, can we bring it back at a later date and not table it? I'm just serious and wanting to make a point here.
I don't think there's anything that says we can't approve it later if we vote to not approve it now.
But I mean, honestly, mechanically, it doesn't really do anything to it.
Whatever.
You know, if we get the bus, that it's going to come down to them just not delivering the bus. So I would lean towards a more appropriate path is to have them come in and have an honest discussion with us on the process that we've gone through, the sealed bid, the wrong delivery, the, you know, what's the final product going to look like? When are we going to get it? I mean, maybe they can derive the bus here at the next board meeting and we can go do a full inspection. So I would say, I guess I get it, but mechanically it's not going to do anything to them.
Fair enough.
So I'd propose to, let's table this until the April board meeting. So table this approval till the April board meeting and request that their salesperson come.
We will ask them to come.
So motion to approve the agenda item listed for the increased cost in school bus, which would be
Table it.
new business.
So I'm tabling that.
We don't have to
Agenda
approve a
item.
table.
No, I think you can make, well, we can make a motion to, so I'll move to, yeah. So I'll move to table the, item 7
Right.
on the, current agenda to the April board meeting.
Motion by Keith to table it.
Second?
So motion by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
No. Passes 3-1. Item number 8, approved technology purchases.
As I referenced earlier, a lot of businesses that get parts and supplies from overseas are reaching out about the additional costs that may come. The biggest one being our student devices, the Chromebooks that we purchase. Mr. Grouden was told that could increase as much as 20% between now and when we normally order our Chromebooks. And so in working with Scott and Chris, we kind of have a plan here of how we are going to get the necessary things we can, saving on the potential tariffs that might come in. But then also the other benefit, too, is it gets equipment for our technology staff to start implementing and getting things hooked up even earlier in June, because for buildings and grounds and technology, the months of June and July are the months where they make hay and get as much done as they can while students are not on campus here. So there's really 2 wins here for us to get the student devices, the switches, the inline new line touch screens from Bloom, and then the technology needed for the CTE edition.
A couple questions, Chris and Scott. Is this budgeted for this year? Were we planning on getting it this year, or were we planning on getting it after July 1?
Planning on after.
It depends on which one you're talking about. So the STEM is for this year. This was the CTE computers, the laptops, that was planned in this one. It was very convenient to do it now, as prices of those higher laptops are gonna go up, but we got some great bids in right now.
And there is bond or grants associated with it too.
That was planned, and so that's all through a grant. The new line devices technically are coming out of the bond, the construction fund. So that wasn't really this year or next year, that was just part of redoing those classrooms. The ones that are specifically not really budgeted for this year that we're trying to jump, just because of what we see coming down the pipe, it's just impossible, is the student Chromebooks and the switches. Student Chromebooks, as Michael just said, I've been told I don't know what's gonna happen, but I've talked to multiple sources on this, that Chromebooks specifically, depending on if they're coming out of Mexico or China, could go from 20 to 40%, depending on what it is or when it happens. We have no idea. But the switches, the nice thing on the switches right now is basically we're living in kind of E-rate Yahtzee right now, because these are the E-rate prices that we got last year, and those are good for one more week. So April 1st, all the switches will go on.
Okay. So can we anticipate this amount of money we're approving tonight that was for after July 1? Correct? We can anticipate that being taken out of the technology budget next year, correct?
It depends how you want to do that. We're finding, since we went through COVID and now with the tariffs, it seems like we've been flexing that a little bit. Like we ordered Chromebooks because of the amount of time it took them to come in the prior school year to when they were needed. So I can't say that that's gonna come out of next year's, because we might be ordering it this time again next year for the following year.
Okay.
That's a hard.
That makes complete sense. I mean, that makes sense that we're doing it that way.
I would tell you, my personal belief is if we could afford it, which I know that's a hard ask right now, and this is a hard ask, but if we can afford it, it puts us in a better position to be ordering and having the ability to order in advance. But if we're in crunch, then the answer is yes, we take it out of and we don't spend it next year. But if we're in an ability to put us in a better position for the future, it would be great to keep it in the budget.
Yeah, and I think, as you know, we're all about efficiency, so whatever's gonna make your department more efficient and to get those things a smoother process, I mean, it makes sense, so.
Yeah, but
I just
not
was
only-
curious.
Yeah, not only more efficient, I think it puts us in a better way to be able to, like, if we already have those things and we're buying in advance of, it puts us in a great position to be able to react when we need to react in the school year, preparing for the next one.
Okay.
So I guess just clarity then. So we're talking the Dell G16s for 34,000.
Correction to that really quick, I had them quote the 20, but the grant, if you look at the grant's for $60,000, $47,000 is for devices. So I'd like to buy 27 devices, which will put us at, I apologize, I thought
So it's 27 times the 1,700.
correct.
So that's 45.9.
Yes, thank you.
So we got 45 or 46. Then there's 155 in Chromebooks, 276 in switches, 79 in switches.
79 switches.
Okay, there's this other, the Gov E-rate quote here for
The quote.
276.
Yeah, the quote has all this stuff.
Extra
That's why-
stuff, okay.
That's just look at the one I put in.
Just that little table.
That has all these things that we're not gonna buy.
Okay.
So basically, we're only buying 3 line items out of that huge quote.
Okay, all right, that makes me feel better. So that's the 79,000.
Yes, sir.
So we're talking 45 plus 155 plus 79. And that's all money that would not be planned in this fiscal that we're going to spend in this fiscal. Do we have the capacity to pay for all these items in this fiscal, not regardless of what next year's budget is?
We do. So Michael, Scott, and I all have looked at this and ran it through the whole process, and we do have the ability to make this happen.
Okay, because again, and there's been times where we've talked about some of these things, and you've either been on the fence but want to make absolute sure that you feel comfortable with the current funding profile to be able to meet this demand.
We did some moving. June was the first one that we talked to, and so we really put her on a schedule as to when projects were starting and what year they can fall within.
Yep.
So we did that first before we did Scott's. So
Fantastic.
Well done.
better position.
Well, and we had so many projects that went over fiscal year end that now we are very strict about, okay, there needs to be a really good reason for it to trickle from June into July. If we can get it done in June, great. If we need to get it done in July, that's great too. It makes way more work for a business office to have that trickle over the end of the fiscal year.
I mean, this is just another unfortunate example where entities, businesses were put in a difficult position to deal with the unknown of current scenarios and what this all means. And so it's just, yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact you guys are being proactive, reaching out to suppliers, but these assets, do these all exist in stock, in inventory in the United States currently?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't want to turn into our COVID orders where it's like, you know.
That's the other.
Corey's laughing, but I mean, come on, we.
There's a reason we don't work with a specific vendor anymore.
I just say it.
So,
I remember those week-to-week updates, and it was never good.
My understanding is that these will be filled, especially that's one of the reasons we're trying to be April 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions?
I mean, all the quotes are the ones we're executing as are attached, so it's, you know, we've stated the vendors, so it's probably makes sense. The one question then, so the grant, how did we get the grant?
Hunter.
Seth, I, myself, and then Christy Gillespie wrote it, be the STEM Best Grant. It's not this time around, it would be for 24, 25.
Nice work. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. That's fantastic.
So it's 40,000 with 20,000.
So again, to community members out there, that as we look at being fiscally responsible, that's a great example where the district staff is working very hard to find opportunities to help support the needs that we have. It's, you know, in this technology arena, obviously it's a big expense item, but that's where requesting and taking the time to fill out these grants is very useful. And so thank you to the team for doing that. That's fantastic work.
Well said.
Motion to approve the technology purchases for student devices and Google management for those devices from GovConnection, quote listed, switches from GovConnection in the quote listed, and the Newline touchscreen devices from Bloom, the Dell student laptops partially funded by STEM Best Grant for the CTE edition.
Second.
Motion by Ashley, second by Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 9, set date and time and place for the public hearing on the proposed North Polk FY26 budget.
Yep. So April 21st, same place, same time, 6 o'clock for our next year's budget.
Motion to set the public hearing from the proposed fiscal 26 budget for April 1st, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the North Polk Collaboration Center at 13930 Northeast 6th Street, Alleman, Iowa.
Before I second that, I do have a question.
Yep.
Is there any chance that we will not be able to have our budget done by that time? And what happens if that is the case?
We will be done by that time. I don't know what happens if we're not, because we do actually meet our deadlines as a school district.
Well, I mean, like, what if we don't know state funding?
Well, then we just have to make assumptions and then set our budget, because we can always amend the budget thereafter.
Got it.
We just have to set our budget by that point.
So when the AEA sets theirs, they have to have theirs in January. They don't ever have any of this information.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So second.
Good
Motion
question.
by Keith, second by Ashley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
item 10 would be individual board member comments. Start down at the end. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you also filling in tonight. Well done. We look forward to James being back next month.
You too? You too?
Kind of first off, I have a bunch of shout outs, and I want to do this on behalf of all of us board members, just so it doesn't go down the line. But I want to shout out to our wrestlers at state, Henry and Charlie, respectively 3rd and 5th place, as well as Drew, Kale, Evan, Gabe, for making it to state. We had a very nice presentation in here from the FFA that won at sub-districts, and now are on their way to state at Hilton. So good luck to them. Also want to give a shout out and thank you to Coach Dose and Albertson. They stepped down, but their leadership has been fantastic over their years coaching. I want to give also a shout out to our girls senior class in basketball. 4-year record of 88-14. 5 of those losses coming in their freshman year. Conference winning streak of 50 games. 2 runners up, a Final Four at state. This class and team will go down as, I think, one of the best in North Polk. So congratulations to that group of seniors. I wanted to say thank you to the constituents that went out and voted yes for the PEPL. Congratulate Stockton Huther on being named a National Merit Finalist. Very impressive. And then Superintendent Klein already said a shout out to our speech team and all of that. So that's what I got.
I just wanted to say congratulations to Big Creek. They had students, every student received a book. I know my Big Creeker came home all excited and has already read her book. So we were very excited at the Delaney household, but anytime we can get reading into kids' hands and make those efforts known is a good thing. And especially to Kelly Holland, I know she took a lot of that on her shoulders. So thank you to Kelly for her extra efforts.
Welcome back from spring break. Hopefully, dose of reality didn't hit everyone too hard today. I know for myself it did. I do just want to mention for those that are watching this maybe at home, we had a separate session here before this meeting started, and this was related to taxes and to what our tax rate is for the district. And so some folks from the community from across the district came and asked some great questions. We had some good dialogue. Everybody received tax documents from the state, which are unfortunately a bit confusing and kind of misleading, but if people have questions on these, please reach out. Reach out to us. We're happy to have a conversation. But also reach out to your state legislators. And as we sit today, how many weeks past the deadline for the state to establish what our budget will be, the SSA and budget?
Many.
We're many weeks overdue, so we're still living in a bit of ambiguity here, trying to understand what next year's fiscal budget is going to look like. So again, if you have questions, please call your state legislators and express the concern that we continue to go down this line where it just gets delayed and delayed. And it's hard. We need to set our numbers and have a plan in place and meet our deadlines that the state sets for us. But anyway, just want to make mention of that. And so that was it was a good discussion. If you have questions, please reach out. And otherwise, welcome back. And we're on the quick slide here towards the end of the school year. So thanks all.
Just have a couple things. First thing is, I know it was in last month's director report, but I just wanted to bring it up again because it wasn't technically announced. Maybe James announced it on accident about Central Elementary being named a model PLC school.
And then the whole
district. I'm sorry, but Central Elementary was obviously that
last year.
Mentioned in it, yes. It's really the 8th district in the state of Iowa to receive that award. So that's awesome. Congratulations to everybody involved in that. And then just a shout out to Jill Altringer. She invited us as a board to meet with her for a brief time during the DCG North Polk girls basketball game and just being able to open some dialogue with her and kind of see where county government's going. Was some great conversations. So hopefully we can build those as she's a new supervisor. We can continue to build on those relationships. So great comments, everybody. I will take a motion to enter in a closed session for student discipline.
Motion to enter into a closed session.
Second.
Motion by Ashley, second by Kyle. All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
I'm
3-4-0.